This video is to help users to configure basic virtual connect configuration. The session is really targeted for people who haven't used virtual connect before and wants to do the first setup settings. Instead of going through the manuals to look at all the options, I will highlight what's the most and common settings and what's the quickest way to configure virtual connect so you have the server connectivity to your network. Basically, if you have a C7000 enclosures and if you go to the onboard administrator, you will see the enclosure overview. So this is two virtual connect flex fabric modules, right? So initially, if you have this module, the way you look at it is, you have the virtual connect manager here. Some customers say they say, hey, I have this module, but I don't see anything here. The first thing you need to do is you need to make sure your virtual connect manager has the management IP config. This is through the internal OA network. So the management traffic is through the OA RJ45 GigE connection and into the backplane into the virtual connect internal Ethernet management port. It's the working like the same way as ILO port. So pretty much the way you check it is to make sure you go to the enclosure bay IP setting. Device space is more on for the server at the front, and to configure the virtual connect, you need to go to the interconnect base. You can see this is bay 1 and bay 2. So pretty much you need to make sure you have this bay 1 and bay 2 have the IP address defined. This is strictly for the management for HP enclosures. Has nothing to do with your operating system and user data. Okay, so after you configure this, you apply after the virtual connect get the management IP address, you should be able to see this. So there are several ways to log in to the virtual connect manager. You can click here. It will give you the virtual connect manager login page. The way it really says, because my virtual connect manager is under the control for virtual connect enterprise manager. So for initial users, you don't really care. You shouldn't get this prompt. I don't want to change my existing settings for my virtual connect configuration. So pretty much for initial configurations, I want to use a simulator. Okay, so pretty much this is just I want to show you how it looks like to log in. So another way is you can click the virtual connect manager module, and you can also see the management console. This is the same thing pretty much. You click this link, you will get logged into the virtual connect manager. You need to put your username and the password. Okay, so when you click that, very likely you will get this one. So you need to make sure you put the right username and password. So this is actually a simulator. Okay, pretty much I have a VM to simulate the virtual connect manager. So this tool is more for HP partners and the HP internal use, but this is just want to show you how to initially configure the virtual connect. Okay, so I also have this real virtual connect manager real modules. I want to show you how it looks like connect with the real server and the real network switch. So pretty much I will flip back and forth between the real virtual connect manager at 88. Another is simulator to show you how to do the initial setup. Okay, so pretty much the way you log into the virtual connect manager is here, or you click the module and go into the management console. After you know your IP address for the virtual connect manager IP, you can also directly browse into this IP address. Okay, then put in your username and password. Okay, so when you first get the module, before you insert into the enclosure, make sure there are toe tags attached to the module. There's a default username and password. The password is kind of the random serial number. So each module will have this one password attached. So look at your toe tag, write them down. You will need that for the initial login. Okay, and you have two modules. One of the modules will be control plane active. Both modules will be forwarding the data traffic, but only one module will be doing the GUI and SSH, serving server purpose for control plane management. So very likely you will use the serial number for the default login password for the first module. If it doesn't work, try the second module. Okay, so assuming you log in, you click the OA, you'll get into this page. This is simulator. Okay, the default username should be administrator with A capital. Okay, you have to get the case sensitive. Okay. And this is simulator, so it's really just have the built-in password. So you should have the first screen like this. If this is a new setup, you can click the welcome to the domain setup wizard, then click next. This will be asking for your default OA username. OA, it has another username and password. Pretty much the way Virtual Connect is gonna to ask OA, hey, I'm the Virtual Connect, give me all your blade information and the chassis information so I can later on make my connection and the profile. Okay, so you need to know your OA username and password and click next. And pretty much it just say, okay, enclosure import status. This will enclosure name and enclosure serial number. Pretty much the one you are looking at is not imported. So you want to go to the next and import this enclosure. So just to keep the default settings to create a new Virtual Connect domain by importing this enclosure. Then click next. It just will give you the warning, it will disable your network access. Of course, we haven't got any blade or module seen by Virtual Connect, so of course you want to say continue. So this is after import. You will see, okay, this is this simulator has 4 Ethernet modules and 2 Virtual Connect fiber modules and 11 physical servers. Remember, this is more software, more for simulation. Okay, in your case, your module and the blade number will be matching your exact setup. Okay, so you click the next. And this is the name of Virtual Connect domain. And pretty much this domain, it doesn't matter. Your servers and your data center switches will not see this domain. This is purely for Virtual Connect internal database use. Okay, because later on Virtual Connect has to store all the worldwide name and the MAC address handout. So it has a mini internal database. So you can give it whatever name makes sense to you. For each Virtual Connect domain in your enclosure, for each C7000 enclosure, if the simplest way is each enclosure will have its own Virtual Connect domain. So make sure their domain name is different. So assuming you have a 2 C7000, if you don't stack them together, or if you if you want to stack the Virtual Connect, just keep the separate domain name for each C7000. Okay, so we'll keep the original. Actually, I can change it. VC domain. Actually, I just switched my browser to IE because my Firefox browser has some cache issues, so the display for the simulator isn't displaying correctly. So pretty much continue the previous step. I changed the default Virtual Connect domain name. This is the next screen is the local user accounts. This is the place you can immediately change your default login username. Pretty much, if you click the administrator, so you can set whatever password you want here and pretty much confirm it. And this is the roles. You can say, okay, let's you can configure this user as the network admin or the server or storage or everything, right? So let's first user will do the all, right? We don't change that. So pretty much you define your password here. I'll change here HV. Okay, then update user. Okay, so is change the password. So you, from this moment, you should be able to log in with a new password. Okay, so if you add another user, you can do the add user. We'll just do the click next. Okay, at this moment, you import the enclosure, you create the virtual connect domain, you can stop over here. So this is a checkmark. You can continue using the wizard, or so pretty much it will go through the first network wizard and then the fiber channel storage wizard, so, and the server profile wizard. Or you can use wizard by keep going, or you can check it off and be back to the main homepage. We'll do the wizard, so you can take a look at wizard how the wizard looks like. Either way, you can configure your virtual connect by using wizard or not. Okay, so pretty much actually let me stop over here. If I do the finish, this is pretty much the main login page. Okay, so if you want to go back to the wizard, remember we first did the domain. This is a must. You have to finish that before you can do the rest of things. The network wizard, if you keep going, you will show up like this. Okay, so let's go to the network setup wizard. So pretty much it will guide you through how to set up the major network settings. You click the next. Use virtual connect, assign a MAC address. This is by default we just use NIC bring MAC address. You can do the use virtual connect, assign MAC address. In that case, you can the server profile feature will be benefit most. So pretty much you swap or upgrade to a new blade. Your new blade will come with the default username, the default MAC address assigned by the virtual connect. Okay, so if you want to maximize your server profile benefit, you should select this one. Default is this. Okay, so virtual connect has the default pools assigned. So pretty much it has 64 pools. You can choose pretty much. It doesn't matter which pool you choose, you can choose either one. But if you have 2, 3 enclosures, each enclosure has its own virtual connect domain. The most important thing is, you want to have a enclosure 1 choose pool address 1, and enclosure 2 you want to choose pool address 2. You don't want to create 2 enclosures with a separate virtual connect domain with the same pool address. Otherwise, you will have a duplicate MAC address and worldwide name. Okay, just so remember that. So click next. I just want to say confirm. I do want to use the predefined. Okay, and this is expanded. So pretty much, if you are using the newer version, Flex 10, Flex Fabric, Flex 1020 module, you should go through this. Okay, this is more of a legacy for the old 1/10. Okay, so just keep it as a default, and forget about this. This is you really don't need it. In my experience, the customer I've been working on, I don't want to get you confused. If later on you need a more advanced fine-tuning some stuff, you might come over here. But at this moment, don't worry about it. Ignore it. The fourth server connection to use, don't worry about this one. We can, I'll try to explain it later. Okay, so just keep the default setting for this one. Okay, this is the place you want to decide. What these two options means is pretty much for the basic configuration. Okay, connection with uplink dedicated to single net. So you think about this as your access port. You have one cable or one bundle or only carry one VLAN. In most of cases, you go with this one for the basic configuration. This means, okay, I have a one cable or two cable doing the port channeling, but I want to carry multiple VLANs. Okay, so this is later on you will see the shared uplink set inside Virtual Connect Manager. So in general, for enclosure set situation, you have multiple VLANs you want to bring in from your network into enclosure, you go with this one. Okay, and click the next. This is shared uplink set. In summary, shared uplink set is very like a network trunk port. Okay, so if you're a networking team, provision your Cisco or Juniper Extreme switch as a network trunk. Like under one port, you have 3 or 4 VLAN or 30 VLANs. You go with you you config the shared uplink set. Okay, so just think about it as a trunk. You can give it a name. You can say the trunk one. Okay, pretty much this is a place. Just keep the auto over here. Uh, you can select LACP. You can keep it default. If you are the Cisco admin using Nexus, especially with the 5K doing the SSU, you want to choose a long. Okay, so enclosure one. So pretty much, this is the place you can pick your. This is the bay one. Okay, so this is the one virtual connect module. This is another virtual connect module. This is the where you can pick your physical blade, physical port, and and the module. Okay, so pretty much this is a simulator. Okay, so I pick for this trunk. We have 2 physical links at the module 1, x1, x2. That's the external ports. From in general, you have x1 to x8 or x1 to x10, depending on which module you have. Okay, this is your physical switch connected. Okay, so you should see a linked. Okay, you should see the speed, and that's the good status. Okay, associate FCOE, don't worry about that if you are not using the 4.01 dual hop FCOE feature. If you do, check my blog video for that feature introduction. Pretty much over here you define a name. This name can be whatever you want. The important thing you need to match with the networking team is the external uplink ports. You have to match it, and also you want to define, okay, assuming I want to add some VLANs carrying on this trunk, right? So you want to add a single associate network or multiple. Okay, in general, I'll go to multiple, and you can say, okay, give it some name. So this is a kind of wizard, so you can create a multiple network. VLAN ID, you can keep, say, 10, 12, okay, and VNet, and then this is a side A, the module 1, okay. I'll do the module. This is a prefix, this is suffix. Module 1 or module 1, okay. So pretty much this is the VLAN will be carrying. So the real VNet number will be name will be like this, okay. Smartlink, make sure you check this one. Just don't ask, if you are first configure the virtual connect, check it. You need that. It's a pretty much basic, when you say the link state tracking for networking term. Pretty much virtual connect will monitor the uplink x1, x2. If both of these uplink down, your port channel down. If you have a Smartlink enabled, will disable all the server port connecting to this uplink, and then you have a network, team in failover or VMware NIC, rehash to the other remaining NIC. Okay, so pretty much that's it. Network access group, that's another advanced feature. It's added more security layer. So I'm not going to talk about this now. Okay, so just say apply. So pretty much this is your trunk configuration. You have a name. You want to make sure it's up, and you have a physical link, and you can see the network switch port, and then you define whatever VLAN you want. This VLAN ID has to match with your networking switch configuration, okay? And then this name, it doesn't matter, whatever makes sense to you. So usually for module 1, you should name it, as underscore 1 or A or something, it's going from the module 1, okay? So if you want to do any native, if for Pixie booting, or if your network switch has a network 10 as a native, you can pick one of the VLAN and check as a native. Okay. Private network, that's more on security feature. So I will not cover over here. So pretty much you can see I have one native and two regular. Okay, all carry under this uh, uh, you know shared uplink set. Okay, pretty much you see create shared uplink set. Okay, so you can see it's created, and you can say done. Okay, so pretty much this is a fiber channel. After your network, if you have a fiber channel connectivity, you can do it here with this wizard. Okay, so welcome to fiber channel setup wizard. So pretty much you click next, and this is the same thing. You want to assign the assign name, or you want to use the HPA burn-in. So if you want to use the burn-in, click next. You should see a defined range. As long as your enclosure virtual connect has a unique one, so you can select define range 1 for worldwide name. So click confirm. Define fabric. Okay, well, fabric is more like internal fabric, so we can forward the traffic from the server HPA to or FCOE to the outside send switch or storage array. Okay, define fabric array. Pretty much you can see send A, and you want to add port, so it will show you all the qualified fiber channel capable for the port. So I'll say my port module 1 X3 and module 1 X4. Okay, and then you can see it's connected to the remote worldwide name. This is should be on your fiber channel switch, or if you are connecting with the fiber channel switch. Okay, or you have a 3-par direct attached. This should be your 3-par port name. Apply. Okay, so I want to would create another one for load sharing and load balancing and redundancy. I want to define another one for send. Usually you see it's send B, and you see add port. Then typically you go to the module 2 to do the same thing. At 3 X4. This is assuming you have two 8 gig fiber channel connected. Okay, so I don't need to do any fabric. So pretty much I have the two modules, two send fabric. That's it. That's all your fiber channel configuration. So server profile set a wizard. So pretty much this is if you want to create a server profile. Okay. Server profile is more like virtual connect facing the server. Okay, to have network connectivity from server to network switch, you have to have at least one shared uplink set defined and one server profile for that particular blade. Okay, so click next. Okay, so serial number, I want to use a virtual connect assign. This in general you can leave it default, or you use a virtual connect assign serial number. It shouldn't. Okay, so usually you should be able to define a profile name first. Okay, so in this wizard you can do it later. Pretty much you can see, okay, you can select the network. This port will be your server port. Okay, so if you have a VMware, this port 1 will be mapped into your VMNIC 0. This port 2 will be mapped into your VMNIC 1. Okay, so you can add if you want to have multiple NICs. Okay, so that's a flex NIC feature for the virtual connects. We'll do select the network. So you can see pretty much this is the decision you need to make. Okay, for this NIC, you want to carry one single network as untagged, or you want to carry multiple network. Okay, so if you want to carry single network, you pretty much you select the network. If you want to say, okay, for this NIC on the server side, I'm configuring tagging, trunking. So pretty much you need to select the multiple network. Okay, so let's just say select the network. That's just for example VLAN 10. Okay, and you should be able to. Typically, let's do this, because in the wizard there should be one more step. I can create another shared uplink set. Okay, let's cancel this. Let's go back to the wizard again. Yes. So we still have the old configuration. I just need to create another shared uplink set so I can show you. So you can see this is the normal homepage. This is a shared uplink set. I should be able to have one available. Yeah, this is the trunk one. So there should be a place in the wizard I can create a trunk 2 for another module. You can see this is bay 1. So I'm trying to walk through the complete, setup so you can have the trunk 2. This way, I rather do by wizard, and so you can have the complete view about the wizard. So we'll go through connection. So this is the place I create a shared uplink set. So we'll do the same trunk to bay. Actually, I should go to the bay 2. Pretty much, this is for another bay. Typical configuration, you want to have 2 modules. Each module has the uplink to the network switch. So this is the shared uplink set for another module. So add. I want to create a multiple. Pretty much, I want to. This is not a single. I don't want to do a single. I want to create a multiple. So let's bring up this wizard, and you want to say vnet underscore 10 to 12 to 12, and then the score module 2. Okay, module 2. Check the Smartlink, remember, and hit apply. Okay, so make sure this is VLAN 2 for in the module 2. You want to make sure you also check the native. You don't have to do the native. It really depends on your networking design. Definitely, you need to match it with your networking admin, switch setting. Okay, so this is pretty much it. Trunk 2, bay 2 links, and then the 3 VLANs I defined. Okay, then we click create more. Okay, see, now I created another shared uplink set. I think the last time I might be going here, create more networks. Okay, so yeah, in the last wizard I should be going back to create another one. I missed that, so that's the reason I'm going back to the network wizard to define another shared uplink set, the trunk for the module 2. So I'm gonna cancel the wizard. Okay, I'm gonna cancel the wizard. So right now you should be able to see the 2 shared uplink set. Usually, if you stay in the wizard, all this happens at the background. The way I'm just trying to show you, it's indeed 2 shared uplink has been defined. Okay. So let's go back to the wizard. For this video, since the initial setup, I want you to more focus on the wizard side. For me, usually I don't go through the wizard. I just directly go into the Virtual Connect Manager homepage to start to config. So it's up to you. So next, click next. Okay, so this is the place we left out, right? So assuming you want to select the network, I want to see right now you have a 6 internal network. Don't get confused. You still have the 3 VLANs on the server side, and on the network switch side. But the way Virtual Connect work for the active design, which I'll be using this moment, will be you pretty much you config 3 internal network for module 1 and 3 internal network for module 2. Okay, then the way you define this really I want to show you is pretty much this port 1 will map to the module 1. So you want to select the module 1 VLAN, assuming you have the ESX, you want to select VLAN 10 as your management, right? So this over here, you want to select module 2. You want to match it to the module number. And the way you can you can see that is the later on you have the mapping over here. Over here we don't see, but later on I will show you. So if you say, okay, for this VMware, I will have a 4 NICs. My management will be a 2 separate NIC, and my other, vMotion, or for the VM data, I want to have the internal, to do the trunking with the VMware vSwitch or DVSwitch. Over here, you can see, you can drag. Either you drag like this, you can see 11. You can single one, or you can do the module one. You can see, or you can do the you can do the control highlight. So 11 and 12 for the module one. You can do the control. I have to press the Windows key or Mac key. Let's try that. Yeah, so control key works. So you can select the multiple. This is one way. Over here, you can select, this one is tagged or untagged, okay? So because of multiple network, you can pick one of them as untagged. In this case, because this is our management, we already set as the first, 2 NICs. So everything will be tagged. Another way is, if you want to start from beginning, you drag it back. You can select over here, force same VLAN mappings. So that will be easier. So because over here you have 6 VLANs, it might be confusing. So pretty much for the port 3, we know it's mapping to the module 1. So you can click the trunk 1, and then it will filter only the VLANs under the trunk 1. So you can see, I can do this, right? See, so either way will work. Okay, so. And okay, so you can see my port 3 is defined. Pretty much for redundancy, you want to do it as the balanced, So this time I should do the module 2, 11 and 12, and you want to see okay. That's pretty much it, right? So you have one management interface for redundancy for VMNIC 01. This is for your VMNIC 2 and 3, and this will map to the module 1. For virtual connect, this will be mapped to the module 2 and 4. Okay, for the fiber channel, FCOE, because I defined the 2 fiber channel fabric in the module 1, so 1 and 2. So that's the reason I can define. If you have a virtual connect fiber channel module, pretty much is the same thing. You just need to go over here to define it. Okay, so that's it, and then we do the next. You can assign the profile to a specific server bay. Okay, this is the bay to a BR460 Gen 8. I'll just select that, or you can leave the profile unassigned now. Okay, in general, you want to assign the first one, make sure the first one working. Then later on, this profile is working. Then you can copy the rest of profile to the rest of base. Okay, next. Okay, this is a server profile name. Okay, you can pick a name, and you do the create profiles, and that's it pretty much. start over. If you want to create another profile, I think that's it. We have one server profile. Let me show you how it looks like. So as I mentioned, this is a typical home page, and you go over here, you go to the server profile. This is all your server, NIC, VLAN, and the fiber channel settings. For one server to talk with the network, you need to have one server mapping to that server. You can see right now. So first thing, in order for you to create the server profile, apply that your server needs to be powered off initially. This is only you have to do that during the initial setup. After you've done that, later on, if you just want to add, the VLANs to, under the particular port, you don't have to do that. Okay, so you don't have to power down the server again. So you can do the edit. Let's see how it looks like. So this is what we have configured, right? So the default speed, you can change it if you want. You can do the custom to change it to different setting. And let me show you how it looks like. This pretty much, you will have the speed. You can drag it, or you can put the whatever speed number you want for this particular NIC. Okay, and then you can see the LOM1, Bay 1, and the D2. Okay, so this is Bay 1 is our virtual connect module. Okay, so this is how it looks like. In our case, in this simulator, it has a math card, but if you don't have the math card, you should have the LOM1 :1 then A. Okay, because for each particular 10 gig, it has ABCD flex NIC. So if you do the FCOE, your B should be going to your B should be behaving like the FCOE connection. So for your NIC, you should have the 1A, 1C, 1D. If you have another 2 NICs created. Okay, so right now I'll just show you the 4 NICs created. So forget about the math 2. That's just a simulator. Okay. So pretty much you can see it's round robin. You can see the first VM NIC 0 is going to Bay 1. VM NIC 1 is mapping to the Bay 2. VM NIC 2 is mapping to Bay 3. In your case, if you don't have the math card, it should be mapping to the Bay 1 again. It's doing the round robin. Okay. So at this moment, you can power on, the server from the OA or inside the virtual connect manager. Okay, so that's the basic the flow for the initial virtual connect setup. If you have this one set up, and if you say I have some other blade, I don't. Do I need to do this all over again? You don't. For the network uplink set, you already did. For the server profile, if you have a 16 blade, you just copy this one over. You can give it whatever name you want, and then you can see it's a new MAC address, new worldwide name assigned. Okay, so you can see I want to say apply. See over here, I don't even have the the Bay assigned. This can be your template. So if you take a look at your configuration, so it has a different MAC and the different worldwide name. At this moment, you can tell your Pixie server or your fiber channel switch to zone on this value, right? So, and later on you can assign this one to a particular bay. So the way you assign to the bay is, you click here, you do the enclosure 1. This is whatever bay is available to assign. Okay, and you can keep copying this one too. So pretty much one of them will be the template. You can keep copy to the rest of the blade. Okay, that's pretty much the workflow if you first get a virtual connect manager and you want to do the initial configuration. At this moment, if you boot up your server, you should see your server you should see your server the NIC address, and the HBA is the whatever defined in the server profile. Okay, so that's is over here. This is the one you are looking at, for the MAC and the worldwide name. So the last video we talked about set up the virtual connect configuration using the wizard. You don't have to use the wizard. You can directly jump to the home page and do everything here. So pretty much to have your server talking with network switch, there are two steps you need to do. First, you need to define a shared uplink set. You define two of them, one per each module, the way you did in the same thing you do with the wizard. Pretty much this is real. This is not a simulator. This is a real module. These two modules over here. So if I create the first trunk to the 5000, you can see the Bay1, X1, X2, and the second shared uplink set trunk for the second module. And if you want to take a look at how the port status look like, go into the enclosure 1 interconnect base, and you can see this is 2 flex fabric module, and click here Bay1. So in general, I want to first take a look at the uplink ports. So over here you can see your real connection information. This is the real network 5000 at the remote is connecting with the 1.3 and 1.4. Actually, let me see if I can bring up the network switch here. So if you do the show LDP neighbor, you can see we have these two guys. Our local interface is 1.4 and the remote is X1, X2. Okay, so that's how it looks like. And then let's see if I can show you show run interface Ethernet 1.3 show run interface. Okay, port channel 1 member. So pretty much this is a configuration, right? So in this case, I'm using the regular VLAN 1012. This is a FCOE VLAN 800. Okay, you don't have to define FCOE if you are not using that. So, but pretty much that's the configuration I'm using. Okay, so this is a regular Cisco configuration. So on the virtual connect, you can see we have the same thing for the opposite set. And this is uplink. You can see S3 and X4 is connecting with the fiber channel switch. It's logged in. So that's if you take a look at the Sun Fabric. I defined the two Sun Fabric here using the X1, X4, right? Okay, this is real connecting to real brocade switch. So on the that's pretty much for your shared uplink set. And then for the definition, you can take a look. You can do here edit, or another way you can search it. Assuming you know the name. So pretty much you type in, and you can just click the item. It will bring you into the component right away. So this is a detailed display for this shared uplink set. Okay, this is how the port number, and this is how the VLAN config. Over here I'm just doing some testing by myself, but pretty much you get the idea, right? So for you to set up the virtual connect, you need to first set up 2 shared uplink set, 1 for each module. That's the typical active design. Okay, then you go into the server profile. In the server profile, you do I'll pick one server profile, this one. If you do the view, the reason you see it here because this virtual connect manager, I'm using it as under the virtual connect enterprise manager control. So it's all the central configuration for the server profile should be done over there. So you can see I cannot really change anything here, but that's another topic. Okay, but pretty much this will show you I have the port monitoring enabled. This is in case you are troubleshooting, you want to capture the traffic. This is showing it's being managed by the virtual connect enterprise manager. The the way we do the port monitoring is for troubleshooting is Ethernet, and you go into the port monitoring. Okay, you can do that. So pretty much this is general Ethernet setting. Port monitoring you can enable. So your source port will be whatever your server. This is the virtual connect module 1. This is X7. This is actually your destination port. This is external interface going to your workstation running the Wireshark. This is your internal interface. You want to capture the virtual connect in the for the bay 1 for the server 1 traffic, right? And you want to pretty much you define whatever you can select the ports. That's the reason it's showing up here. You don't have to set up them initially. It's just in my lab setup. Okay. So in the server profile, if you take a look at here, I do the view. It's the same thing, and you can do this pencil sign. You can see this whatever I defined for the. You can see it's A side. In this case, I'm using the 10 gig NIC on this B side, right, on the VMware. So take a look at the 001784 1008, right? So this is 08. So if you go into the my vCenter, I know it's here. And if you go into the networking, if you see the 08 and the 0A, right? They are connected with a distributed switch, so they should match, right? If you go into your storage, if you go to the storage adapter, in this case I'm using FCOE. Actually, it's dual hop FCOE to the Nexus. You can see my storage should be 0406, right? 72047206. So if you go back to my virtual connect, so this is the pre-assigned by the virtual connect. So in this case, you can see they're matching. Even later on, you want to replace another new blade, they will come up with the same MAC address with same worldwide name. That comes handy with your Pixie provisioning, with your worldwide name zoning, right? That's pretty much it. So pretty much this is how it looks like in the real environment. Initial configuration, remember 2 steps. One is create a shared uplink set, and another is going to create a server profile and assign to the bay. Test it, make sure it's working, then you can copy it to the rest of the bays. For the physical connection, you go into the interconnect base, you check the uplink ports, and there's some server ports, right? So you can check some other MAC address info, but that's another topic. So this should get you through the initial configuration if you have any questions. And if you want to create, there's some tools. You can monitor your traffic, and this is the throughput, or you can back up your domain configuration, or when you want to open HP support, you want to export your support information binary file, and upload to HP support website. Okay, so that's it for the initial setup on Virtual Connect.